The first public speaking event I ever participated in, the first talk I ever gave it was probably 15 years ago, and I was asked to be a part of a writers' conference on Vashon Island. Read on, write on, Vashon. And as part of this conference, they were going to have a kind of cabaret to lead things off, where there's musicians and people talking about writing and creativity and all this. And I said, yeah, I'll give a little talk, little 10-minute talk. That's it, just 5 to 10 minutes long. And I was excited about it because I knew I wanted to do this kind of public speaking, but I'd never done it before. And so I had prepared something and I liked it. And it was about how we're the authors of our own life. This was something I was increasingly or starting to really think about, write about, and try to live, which is to apply the same creative principles that I do to writing, not the craft, not the language and so on, but simply the way we work with our mind, the way we work with patience and trust to my entire life. Because I didn't like to see my life as an uncreative act. It's just stuff that happened to me. I like to have it feel like something I was creating as if I was the author of my own life. And so that was the talk I was going to give. And so the night came and everybody flooded into this little auditorium, and it was a nice crowd. I was waiting at the back for my turn to talk, and I was talking to this woman who was a part of the conference, and she was nice, and so we were chatting. And then my turn came, and I went up and I gave my talk about how you're the author of your own life and how important it is to love your story and how it's more important than craft. And and that was the talk, and it went really well. I felt really comfortable giving it. The audience seemed really attentive. It was wonderful. So I came down and I was all filled up with the sort of post-performance juice. And I stood next to this woman, and she turned to me and she said, "You wrote that for me, didn't you?" Now she was laughing a little bit, but I knew what she meant. I mean, in other words, it connected to with her that much. And I laughed and said, "Of course I did." And then I needed to be alone because I was still sort of so filled up with it. So I left the auditorium and just went to this room that was adjacent to it. And as I did, this fellow came followed me out of the auditorium. I'd never met him before. He came into the room where I was standing, stood in front of me, and he said, "Did you mean what you just said?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I did." And he said, "Okay." And he turned around and went back into the auditorium. And it struck me as such a profound couple of exchanges because I think that when we do our work, we are always doing it for ourselves. In other words, the talk, are you the author of your own life? You're the author of your own life. That was for me. That was my talk to myself in a way about the importance of the creativity of life and that writing teaches us to be creative on purpose. And so, yes, that was for me, and yet this woman felt it was for her. And then the other fellow's question of, did you mean it? Well, yes, I did mean it. And I think if you give a talk or write something, create something that is for you in answer to something that you're interested in, curious about, passionate about, and if you mean what you say, your job is done. That takes care of the rest. Create for yourself, amuse yourself, entertain, inspire yourself, but mean what you say. Don't hedge it. Mean it. Say what you actually mean. Don't try to disguise it. Don't try to color it. Don't shave it. Say what you mean. Doesn't matter if it's in fiction or nonfiction or poetry. Let it be what you mean. Don't try to make it less literary because you think people won't buy it. Don't try to make it more literary because you think people will buy it. Don't try to make it more sexy or less sexy. Let it be. Say what you mean. Tell the story you actually want to tell, and the rest takes care of itself. Yeah, it does. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Sorry about my cold, just getting over a little something, but I'm glad you tuned in. And if you don't want to miss a dose, hey, hit subscribe. And if you like it, say so. I love to hear from you. So until next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.